Good morning, people. Today is the 21st. I just got home last night from trying to get home from Spokane, Washington, from Mr. Larrabee's house. And as you see, my cabinets and stuff are all open. And the day that I left, someone came in here and went through all of my things, took what they want, canned goods, boxes of stuff. Um, excuse me, I'm having these aches and pains. Ugh. But they took my jumper, so I would have a way to have some kind of electricity. Um, if there was a shit hit, oh sorry, S hit the fan situation. As you see, they went through everything, took the covers off my canning stuff that I had and left that all open. I guess I don't know what they did. Maybe they picked out what they want. I don't care. But they went through that. You see, they throw there's stuff all over my house. Went through all the boxes that they wanted. Now the day that I left here to go to Mr. Gary Larrabee's, I decided to have my daughter and them to come in here in case something happens, and I wasn't here to get the food out, get some food out to my grandson, so my grandson can eat, and and they'd have some protection. So I had since I didn't want to get a gun or tried to. I had ordered some things, and I had, because let's tell you guys, you need other people, and sometimes they need help. And if you need community, number one, you need a way to hunt in case you need to eat, and you need a way of protection. So I had bought 6 crossbows. I told my daughter 4 of them was in still in the brand new in the packs, never been opened. 2 I had behind my dresser in my bedroom. And as you can see, they went through all these boxes the day that I left. Because, as I told you, I called my daughter that night and I said, for y'all to come over here and get the food and get them. I had cases of alcohol, um, vodka, gin, whiskey, bourbon, uh, some for medicinal purposes. But, some people, in situations, people want, I ain't bad for them to have be no alcoholic, but I just stocked up on a lot of alcohol, different kind of alcohol. As you see, they came here to these bags. These boxes were filled with electronics and batteries and stuff like that. Now, I had one box alone that had multiple size batteries in it, rechargeables and the regular uh, uh, disposable batteries. I had bags of toilet paper like this. They obviously went through some of these bags and took out toilet paper and paper towels. Oh, and a couple of bags of toilet papers and paper towel are probably missing. Big bags like this, full of toilet paper and paper towels. I don't know what was sitting in this spot that's missing, but something was there. So they just went through these things. And my other set of canning products, took the cover off. I don't know what's missing out of there. I had bought a lot of these things for people who might have a problem. And these days I had three, three, two this size, medium for somebody in a large. In case somebody had a problem, they need some stuff. Cause I call myself buying supplies for people that I, uh, might have any emergency. I had went to Walgreens and bought two uh, glucose meters because Walgreens had them on sale. You battery meters. you can get the strips, the sugar testing strips for free. So I have bought 2 of those for people. As you can see, they just open up boxes of different things. This is just me saving glass. Because glass is better than having plastic. This is in the bathroom where they open these boxes up. Now, this closet was full of boxes, all on the shelves. All those boxes are gone. There were bags and boxes. You can see they've been strolled all about and opened up. Medical supplies and stuff that I bought. What is this? Cold compresses I bought for people. I would just call myself being prepared, even if I wasn't here, so people would have the supplies they need in emergency. Now this stuff costs me thousands of dollars. As you can see, they went through this room and throwed open boxes and stuff and throw all over the floor. These are things I had packed up. I'm still gonna have to go through these because, like I said, I just got home yesterday, the 20th, last night. I was too tired to go through everything. What's it? Now these boxes you see look like beer in them. They're not. I just could. I just tried to find anything I can to pack things in, and this is well, they should have been able to read because I think this is cooking oil, whatever it says, but they can read, I guess. They went through all these boxes. These were beans that I was going to use for seeding, black eyed peas and stuff. Even though I had cooked a lot of beans, dehydrated them, I wanted some beans to plant. So they opened that up. And as you see, they opened the boxes, throw them out everywhere. Everywhere. They just took what they want. Now, this closet was filled to the rim with boxes and food, medical supplies that I purchased. Down here, you see this, all these boxes missing here. Now, this is where these things alcohol was. I had 2 of these full of different types of alcohol that was sitting right there. And they're gone. So they came and took the alcohol, the different types of alcohol. And I don't remember what all tools and stuff I had. New tools, boxes of candles, boxes of tape, boxes of just different things to help other people. Like I said, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of merchandise. What's in here? Baking powder. So they just went to all the bags open. Okay, fire starters, strike a fire. They just came and took what they wanted. Now, I told my daughter that night, I told her, I said, go get the alcohol out the closet, go get that liquor, because you know it's worth a lot of money, and go in this closet and get, if I can get over here, and get. Now, this closet was filled to the brim, boxes of stuff, bags that I had stacked in here against the boxes. Even the shelf right here, I had boxes sitting on top of this pole. And as you see, it's empty. The crossbows, the 4 brand new crossbows in the box were sitting on that shelf. And they're gone. Now, Mr. Larrabee, I only left here because Mr. Larrabee said that since the police had put a sign at my door that day, that when I went to court, they were going to come in. Mr. Larrabee said, well, Miss Pearline, as me and Sharon's friend, come on, and we're going to get you out of there. Now, they had asked me previously to leave my apartment and come stay with Sharon and say, well, if you can't get along with Gary, you can always come and stay with me. Now, Mr. Gary Larrabee lives in Washington, and and Sharon Brewer lives in Oregon. Now they had told me several times to leave my house and come stay with them, and I didn't want to leave. Number one, I didn't want to leave the stuff, and uh, excuse me, I didn't want to leave this stuff, and because I knew they were coming in here and they would take it. But as I told Mr. Larry and Sharon, God had put it on my heart that if I'm in an emergency situation, something is wrong, to walk away because things could always be replaced. Now, I have been quoting this for months, but this time when the police uh things were outside my door, I felt maybe Gary right. Maybe him and Sharon both. As I told you, Miss Brewer, Sharon said, Pearl, me and Gary would love to have you out this way. Um, if you can't, this is Miss Sharon. If you can't get along with Gary and Washington, you're going to love Oregon. You're going to love Oregon. It's beautiful out here. It has mountains. So her and Gary convinced me. Hold on 1 minute. I gotta get some water. Convinced me to move out there with them. Hold 1 minute. Because there's no way anybody would want to walk away from this thousands of merchandise. And I didn't walk away from uh uh for my safety, not really. Because I wasn't afraid, but I was convinced, Mr. Gary being a Christian man, that he knew that God was talking to him. And I had asked him, told him and Sharon both, before y'all buy that ticket for me to come there, whew, let me pray about it. And I felt that Mr. Larrabee's spirit had said that I should come. That God's spirit had told me to go in there. And he did. He did. God never makes a mistake. He had me go there to find out who my real friends were, who were my friends in Christ. Because as you see what I came back to, a house totally destroyed and all of my things missing. Now I have quite a few videos of my travels there and back, which are amazing within themselves. I'm going to post them a few at a time. Uh, as you know, Google always try to stop me from posting these things. What's going on, and they tried not to let me make it back to Chicago. That's what has taken me so long to get back home. Now, I'm going to make this video first because I don't want them to no more than an hour. And I'm at 13 minutes now, a little over 13 minutes. But I want to just let you guys know how this is a lesson learned. So, as I said, Mr. Larrabee brought me the ticket, and I left on the 7th, I think, and I got there on the 9th. And this is how friends are supposed to work. So when I get there, Mr. Larrabee picked me up at the bus station. We walked to his house, and he said, "Can I have a hug?" And when I went to hug him, and he felt my butt and my breast. And I told Mr. Larrabee, I said, "Gary, don't do that." I said, "Number one, I don't like people putting their hands on me, and uh, please don't do it." He apologized. He said, "I'm sorry." He said, "I didn't mean to do that." He said, "But I just haven't been around a woman in so long." I said, "Well, Gary, I understand that, but I'm not the one. I don't want to be touched." Now we sit and talked about uh uh people's boundaries. And I told him that is one of my boundaries, that I don't like people touching me. And he said that he had dreamed that he had married a black woman. I said, "Yeah, it might be." He said he dreamed he said he always felt he was Moses and he married a black woman. I said, but Gary, I don't think I'm not that woman, and I don't want a relationship, so please don't touch me. So the next day, I made a video about my travels and how dangerous it was to take Greyhound bus, and I'll make a video shortly about that, how dangerous it was traveling these buses and these highways. So when I made the video, some of my trolls, my gang stalkers, about 3 or 4, said I was a black man in a wig. Now, and someone was saying that, and a couple of guys, I think one guy said Gary was a stud and I was his squeeze. Now, I I don't care what people say about me because trolls are who they are. Trolls' main job is to get on these videos and make comments to downgrade you. I don't care about that. People gonna be, yeah, oh yeah, you have no control over what another individual says or does about you because you know you're not what these people say you are. So when Gary approached me, that somebody, because he obviously saw the comments on the video, he said that I need to address it. Now I wasn't gonna address it all because I didn't care because I'm not other people's opinion. So uh, I also told him uh uh, that I had been celibate for the last 20 years, almost 20 years now, because God had said He wanted me to be put aside years ago, and I didn't. Not, as I told him on in the video I made now, I'll uh, address that another time too. That when God put you aside, you have to obey God. It's not that I stopped enjoying me, and I like men's company, and I have just as many desires as any other individual. But He told me to put myself to the side, so I addressed it that the next morning that I was celibate, and have almost been for almost 20 years. That God just told me to put myself to the side. I also addressed the issue about being a man. I had Gary to put his hand up to the video to the camera and showing the difference between a man hand and a woman's. I also showed them sent them a link to the video showing how you can clearly tell them Mr. Michelle Obama is really a man because the head size of a woman compared to her shoulders is different. The hands are different. Uh, Men have Adam's apples. Even if you have surgery, you can't get rid of the Adam apples. So I addressed all these issues to let them know that I was not a man. And that's when I told him about being celibate because I didn't. Gary wanted me to address the issues about him being a stud. Now, number one, right before I addressed the issues, he said that he wanted me to do that because he wanted to prove that I was a woman. So he asked me again, could he touch my breast? And I said, no, I don't have to prove to anybody, especially to validate myself by to prove to you by letting you feel my breast. Now, this is a valid point I want to make here. That you definitely wanted me to get on so people wouldn't think you was living with a man. So you wanted me to address that issue immediately about me being a man. Now, um, the very next day, or it was the same day or something like that, but Gary said he was supposed to get up and go shopping. He said, I'm gonna get up and take a shower and then we can get ready to go. So I'm standing by the closet. Mr. Larrabee goes in the bathroom, turns on the water, and then he comes out the bathroom, butt spanking naked. I mean naked like nude. No drawers, no socks, everything off. He's in his favorite suit, his birthday suit. Now, earlier when I got there, he said, was I comfortable? He asked me, was I comfortable with him walking around with his shorts on? Because he used to being alone So would I mind if he walked around with his shorts on? And I'm like this. I don't want to make you uncomfortable in your own home, especially since you had uh the heart to buy me a ticket to invite me in your home in the first place. So to show my appreciation, even though I wasn't comfortable with him walking around in his shorts, I told him he could. But I guess that wasn't enough. Now he comes out totally nude. So I told Gary then, I say, now this is about the second or the third time he has touched my butt, which he claims the he won't do again. So I said, Gary, I say, number one, I say, I've asked you over and over again to give me some respect. I say, now, uh, I've asked you to keep your hands off me and for you to come out this bathroom with no clothes on. I said, I'm going to call Sharon and have let Sharon know that I need to come stay with her. Because obviously, he said, well, I bought you a ticket. I paid for your ticket to get here. I said, but see, you done it. You did it for the wrong reasons. Because if you call yourself going to help me, and you brought me a ticket to come into your home so you could put your hands on me, then you didn't, that wasn't Christian behavior. So he promised, he said, but don't hug me no more. Don't do nothing. I never put my hands on you. Don't go. He said, I'm gonna pray. He said, now this is something. Let's pray. I'm gonna ask God to take this from me. So we prayed. We held hands and we prayed. And I told him I was leaving. Anyway, I had told him I was leaving the next morning or something. Or this maybe another incident. There were so many, and I just could not take it anymore. I had forgiven Gary over and over again. And then the incident that really got me, I think, was the next that we prayed about it. And he told me that maybe uh something was messing with his head and making him do the things that he was doing. He said, because he had no remembrance. See, that's what he said. He said, I don't remember touching you. He said, I don't remember touching him. But so I thought about it. I said, well, maybe he's right. I said, because I had heard a voice that night, the first night I got there, saying that I knew a demon was in his house. As soon as he laid down on his bed, something said, hello. So I looked around and I'm trying to find out where this voice come from because I had told another person that I think Jerry had a demon in him for some things actions he had done earlier, and I said that the Lord would probably work it out. So I got Mr. Larrabee's Bible and I went over to his bed and I called myself doing a silent because I don't want to wake him up. But, some people don't want you to tell them they have a demon. I didn't want to wake him up, so I was just praying silently, standing in his bed. And something in the scripture said, "Where those that can hear, something about the ear." And as soon as I said that part, Mr. Larrabee touched his ear. So I know the demon because I told the demon, I said, you have to leave. I said, you can't be here. I say, lead us, and it said, okay. But demons lie. So, uh, I didn't hear anything else, but I just knew that the demon wasn't gone. So the next morning, Mr. Larry, I prayed that if the demon wasn't him causing him to touch me, to take it out. So that's next morning I told Mr. Larry, I said, Gary, I said, maybe you're right. I said, maybe some influence over you since he had told me that he don't remember doing it that you know nothing about. And then he told me like this. He said, no, Pearl. He said, you're right. He said, it's no demon. He said, I just have to try to control myself. There's nothing else influencing me. So I said, because at first he was, wouldn't admit, when I had to apologize, he did anything wrong. Like I said, he couldn't remember it. So when he said, took responsibility for him doing what he done, I was saying, oh, that's a step in the right direction. Give him another chance. It's like, Gary, we can't touch each other. We're not gonna even hug. You don't hug me, I won't hug you, because that won't give you any reason to touch me again. So I think the next day, now we went shopping, and I spent all my money preparing because Mr. Larrabee was not prepared for any kind of situation. He did not even have food in his house. So I went and bought another portable gas grill like the one came up missing here, some propane gas for it, and some other survival things, and some food which he did not have. Um, thinking, well, maybe God sent me here to prepare him to help him out while he makes his videos, because he was saying that he was tired and he needed help. So I cleaned up his house, washed the dishes, put things in order, and show him I appreciate him what he did. Now, after we agreed that we wouldn't touch each other no more, I've told you guys all the time how that more gallons and how they send that smart dust and it attacks me and makes me itch and put bruises and stuff on my body. So while I was at his apartment, and my targets is right there upstairs in the apartment and around me too, like y'all here. Uh, when I was in his apartment, my back was burning real bad. So I told him to look. I said, "Can you see bruises and sores on my back?" He told me yes. I say, he said, yeah. He said it looked like bug bites. Now, my the bruises are around my neck. They're not in the middle of my back. And while he looking in my back, he touched my butt again. And I really got angry. And I really let him have it. I said, you cannot even, as a person who asked him for your help, to look at some injuries, you cannot even help me without touching my butt, Gary. I said, what kind of man are you? A person really can't ask you for help. Well, that was an accident, and I didn't brush your butt that much. It was just about an eighth of a second, and you're being over dramatic. He told me I was being too sensitive. That he don't see what's wrong with touching me. So I I say, are you out your mind? I said, I didn't cuss, but I cussed later on. I said, you got to be out your mind. What do you mean that it's no big deal if you touch me? Number one, if I tell you don't touch my body, oh well, I bought you, I paid for a ticket to bring you here. Really? I said it don't mean nothing. I said because that wasn't Christian behavior for you to bring me here so you could just think you could have your way with me. I said I could have stayed where I was at. I said I spent all my money here. You give me my money back so I can get the bus and get home. And he told me he wasn't giving me anything. Now, like I said, I was really angry because he told me what I felt about him touching me was not valid. That uh, it's no big deal for you to violate my rights, for you to disrespect me, and then tell me I don't have a right to be angry. Are you crazy? Now I was really, really polite because I still did not cuss, but I told him I wanted my money. I wanted to leave that next morning, get me a bus ticket back to Chicago. At first, he just thought he ain't gonna, and this and that. Uh, uh, he brought me here, and he ain't gonna. He spent his money on buying food. Of course, you did, because we both spent money on buying food. So he told me he would give me my money. We go to the ATM the next morning and get me money to get a bus back. Now, Mr. Larrabee, I did not know he was so Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. So I went to sleep on his couch and I called him a demon. Because if you just saw the evil look on his face, you know that that is not the Gary who used to be Gary. The first Gary, Mr. Larry, that I first saw when I saw his videos had a soft appearance to his face. This Gary, if you look at his previous videos with YouTube and Google have conveniently taken down, and you look at this Gary now, they're not the same people. He is not soft. He is not. He does not have the soft features anymore. Especially if and people do it. I'm telling you. Look at Mr. Gary when he make them videos. You'll see the snarl, that hardness in his face. That is not the same Gary Larrabee. Uh, I ran to rage about that. Like I said about Syndicate Curry, that is not Syndicate Curry. But Mr. Larry told me he'd buy me a ticket in the morning. And when the morning came, he told me no, he wasn't giving me anything. So, with me having no money to get home, oh, the main part I left out was Miss Sharon Larrabee. I mean, Miss Sharon Brewer. I called Sharon and said, Sharon, me and Gary not getting along. I didn't tell her the full detail, but I say, cause remember she told me to come this way. I say, would you uh can I get a bus to your house? Cause she had told me if you and Gary didn't get along, you can always come stay with me. And she told me, oh, Pearl, you're not gonna like it here. That was the main issue. Now you've been telling me how much I was gonna love it to come this way with you and Gary, cause I would love it, and you had your home open to me. That I would love your area. I would love to be out there in the country with you by the trees. And now you're telling me, oh, Pearl, you ain't gonna like it. Can you go somewhere else? Really? So since I saw that the people, the Christian people who asked me to come here, call themselves buy me a ticket to help save my life, then got me here and don't intend to give me an assistance and just feel as comfortable for them and Mr. Larrabee to molest me. So I decided to go on Mr. Gary Larrabee's channel and let his viewers know what such a Christian man he is. So I made the video, and Gary was sitting right there with me. I let the people know that Mr. Larry had bought me a ticket, got me there, kept molesting me. And I also told Gary in the beginning that I think the third time he could have been, and the time he came out butt naked, I said, now Mr. Larry, you know you could be arrested for that. Because I say, number one, most people are not as understanding as I am, and they will call the police and have you arrested. Because he mentioned something like, oh, that's the way if I had my chance, I get naked all the time in front of people. I said, and they would have you arrested too. I said, because you just can't take your clothes off and in front of people and they understand. Well, because he didn't say he would do it just in his home. He said he would do it at other places too. So I said, well, you would probably wind up arrested. Excuse me, guys. I have to go in this bathroom and get some water. I am dying of thirst. So put up with the sound for 1 minute while I go in here. Okay, I'm at the 32-second mark. I'm going to do another 15 minutes about Mr. Larrabee. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I got me some water. I'm thirsty. So I put the video up about Mr. Larrabee. I put him on Front Street. I put him on blast. I put the video up about him putting his hands on me, and now he got me in his house because he kept telling me he wouldn't let me go nowhere. I need to stay with him. It's dangerous out there. He concerned about me. Him and Sharon concerned about me. They just looking out for my interests. And I told him, say, if you're looking for out for my interests, you would not keep putting your hands on me. So, obviously he was trying to hold me hostage. So I made the video. Since him and Sharon got me there, and now they won't give me my money to get back home. The money that I spent trying to get him prepared for uh martial law, whatever things might happen. Now he did spend some money. He spent about $300 too. I don't know exactly how much, but he spent some of his money, but that he needed to be prepared, and I spent my money. You know, so I made the video, and he was sitting right there. Now, all these people made comments when I first got here about, well, Pearl, I'm so glad that Mr. Larrabee, his heart is so big, and he done this for you, and he's such an angel, and we love him and Sharon, and this and that, for them to just, oh, so I wanted these people to know that Mr. Larrabee's heart isn't as big as he said it is, especially since he keep putting his hands on me. And uh, in the first half an hour, that video got about 400 views. Now, Mr. Larrabee, like I said, was sitting right next to me. He had every chance to deny what I said. I asked him on the video, I said, Mr. Larrabee, do you want to make a statement? Do you want to say anything? And he said no. Uh, I asked him also to show the charm that I told you that he's been trying to do some magic, some sorcery. Uh, uh, since I don't think it's the same Mr. Larrabee that I saw him weaving a charm on the screen, that um, something that people didn't know he was doing. Because I was watching one of his videos one time and I seen him wave the charm. And I know that was like casting a spell on somebody. And I called him right after I saw the video. And I said, Gary, what was that? He said a charm that he had, somebody had recently sent it to him, and it had some kind of nano technology in it that if he swung it in front of the view of the camera and people looked at it, it would heal their bodies from any illness. I said, that's not, I said, that's not, that happened. I said, even if that was true, what gives you the right to do that, to cast any spell or do anything without people knowing what you're doing? So he said, should I take it down? And I said, yes. So he took that video down with that casting that charm with that spell in it, with that nanotechnology you say they sent him. But he was sitting there, so I asked him to, so I give me that charm so I can show people why I think that he's into sorcery now. I think he's possessed. So he handed me the charm on the video, and I showed part of it to the uh, people watching the video because number one, I didn't want to do the same thing he had done and wave the charm and accidentally hurt somebody or cast a spell. So I put my thumb over it so they wouldn't see the whole charm. But I also described that it was one of those charms that had the world on it, and it was like not like a cross. It wasn't a cross that you would use if you was in the Jesus or God that would uh show that that's who you worship. This the charm had the world on it, and it is clearly somebody who's serving Satan, the who Satan's supposed to be the god of Earth, the god of this world, this planet. So you can clearly see this was a charm that was worshiping Satan, and I didn't want people to see all that. So I, like I said, I covered part of it, but I showed him exactly what he had used. And he's still sitting here, and I didn't accuse him of molesting me, and I didn't accuse him of using this sorcery, this charm, and he didn't deny it on video. So as I said, the first half an hour or hour or so, it got 400 views, and a lot of people started calling his friends. What's going on, Gary? Uh, oh, what is she doing? What's she talking about? Now, I started reading some of the comments, and most of them were negative. They were saying that I was the implant, that I need to get out of Gary's house, that he needs to have me arrested, that uh oh, a lot of negative things. Really, really negative things about me. None of them addressed the fact that Mr. Larrabee had molested me. And I found that amazing. Because all these people who claim to be white, well, I ain't going to say all of them, because I'm not going to put stereotype and put all people in one category. But like I said, the 400, the comments, about 80 something. The comments, excuse me, the comments, most of the comments I got were negative. And then a few people wrote comments back and said, well, he's sitting right there. Why isn't he denying it? And that was the confusing part. So a few people said they were confused because with what I'm saying, he's sitting right there. Why isn't he denying it? So Sharon them called and said, well, Pearl, what's going on? And this was truly amazing about Miss Sharon Brewer, who claimed to be my friend and so Christian like. When I told her that I wanted to get out of there, just getting me a ticket because I wouldn't get my little benefit money my little SSI until the first. So number one, I needed a place to stay till the first. So she told me and Mr. Gibb now, number one, this is where she explained him putting his hands on me, that he just being a man. That oh he a young man, he ain't been around no women. Oh, he ain't doing nothing for being a man. I said, that's what I call myself understanding now. That's why I told him don't do it the first and the second time. But when I tell you to keep your hands off of me, you ain't just being a man. You are violating and disrespecting me. Well, Pearl, a man, they just go. Now, he was being a man. He did it to your daughter, or some female, or even a son. Touched him inappropriately. Would you say he's just being a man? So I didn't want to argue. So I told Miss Brewer, well, me and Gary tried to get along until the first time I get my check so I can get my ticket to get out of there. Since he still didn't want to give me money to get back home. So Mr. Phillip called and I talked to Mr. Phillip because, like I said, I thought these were part of my friends too. Now, when Phillip asked me, uh, I told Phillip when I said he was new, I told him, I said, well, Gary was, I guess Phillip thought that he was just had his shorts on. But I told Phillip, I said, no, he was totally naked with his little thing swinging. And Philip said, well, that was wrong. He told he prayed. He said, we're gonna pray. So he prayed. He said, whatever horrendous act Mr. Larrabee uh uh did, that let it not happen again and let us get along. So I told Sharon we had all agreed to that I stayed there till the first, since he didn't want to give me my money to get home and that I get my check. So I'm angry with her, number one, because you're saying that what he did was right too. You're um, condoning what he did. So a few minutes later, about a half an hour later, a couple of his friends came and said they wanted to talk to him. I told them, and they said, could they take him out to dinner? Now, when he came back, he was gone quite a while. When he came back, he told me that I had to go. He said that they decided that it was a one-time offer. They would give me $400 to leave that day and $400 to get a room. Now this was, I think, on the 13th or the 14th. So I would have to find a room that I could live in until the first. That was almost 18 days, $400. Now we know that's basically, well, that is impossible. There's no way that I can get at one day knows a place where I can be for 18 days for $400, especially if they charging $65 a night for a room. So $400, that would have been maybe 6 days. So what was I supposed to do the other 8 days with knowing nobody in Spokane, Washington, and nowhere to go, and I had all this stuff I had bought. So I told Gary that if I could find somewhere cheap, so he decided we would try. It was on a Sunday. Try YMCA. YMCA was closed that Sunday, so him and his friend and I made a deal. But I didn't make the deal with his friends. He made the deal. He called him back and said the Y was closed. So we agreed that the next morning, Monday, I would call the Y, try to get a room. They would give me the $400. He woke up. No, no, no. What happened was, now we agreed that I would go call the Y that Monday morning. But that night, I'm looking at, now he posted a video because all that day that I posted that video about him molesting me, he was sick. He was truly sick. He didn't want to make no videos. He didn't want to talk on the telephone. He didn't want to talk to nobody because he said he was ashamed. He should have been. So he decided later on that evening to get up and make a video apologizing. So he apologized, said that he was in meditation and prayer, and he asked God to forgive his sins. So I'm standing in the background, and I talked, and I said, well, did you tell the people you apologized? He admitted he apologized, and that we want to try to get along until that next day till I go get a room at the Y. So later on, I looked at the video he put up, And there was a lot still, even though he apologized. All them people made comments saying, well, I was the demon. That he didn't have to apologize because he in his house. And oh, it was so negative. And I was a gold digger. Really? He ever didn't add no money. He didn't give me a dime. He paid for a ticket for me to get there. He didn't give me no money. And when I got there, I spent my $200-300 to help him. Cleaned his house. Trying to help him anywhere I could. Cook for him breakfast, whatever he wanted to eat. Things he had never tasted before. He was so happy that I was there. And you gonna say I need to be arrested. But I made a comment back. I said, have him call the police. I didn't ask to stay here. If I knew that you, such a Christian, was going to bring me here just so you could take advantage of me, I could have stayed home and let all my stuff got tore up like this and let him take it. Some Christian you are. So, as I said, all these comments were negative. I was the villain. None of them addressed their time that he had touched me. And then he was talking to Sharon. And Sharon, he had the speaker on. And Miss Sharon Brewer said, Gary, this is after he made the uh video asking for forgiveness that he apologized. Gary, you have nothing to apologize for. None of your friends, none of us look at you bad. We don't I'm listening to this. No, we still love you. You're gonna be all right. None of them said one time. Well, is Pearl all right? Is her mental state good because she was violated? Is her mental state good because she don't know where she's going? She don't know where she's gonna sleep tonight. She don't know what she's in a situation where even though she's asked his man not to touch her, he touching her anyway, and all of your friends are condoning what he said. So none of them addressed the fact that I said he molested me. Now, on the comments that on the comments that the viewers made about the video where he apologized, as I said, all these people saying that I was the demon. There were a few comments, and this is exactly what a few of the guys said. They said, now Gary's sitting right there, number one. And if he didn't do it, he would have said something. And then they said that he done came on and apologized. He admitted he doing it, but y'all still blaming the victim. This is what a couple of people said. That he admitted what he did and asked for forgiveness, and y'all still blaming the victim. And then another guy, young guy, made a comment that if I had been white and Gary had been black, he'd have been lynched already. And which is true. Like I said, that was mentioned by two men, and these were white men. That if I had been white, it would have been a whole different story. Even though he admitted it, and the guy said, well, why are you blaming the victim for being victimized? Why are y'all taking Gary's side? He said, you people must be racist. It was so much negative stuff about the situation that I decided to go and comment on some of the comments. And and I especially wanted to comment on the comment that he was sitting right there. He didn't deny it. He didn't apologize. And y'all still telling me it's my fault. And it was another comment or something about about them being racist, of course. Because if I had been white, I think the situation would have been different. So I'm making a comment about that. Oh, about being arrested. I said, yes, I wish we'll call the police. I'm not asking to stay there. I asked him to give me money to get out of there. I wish he would call the police to have me put out. Because I'm clearly have him arrested. So, I'm making a comment, and Mr. Gary gets up and comes over and look at the comment I'm making about what they says. He erases the comment, tell me to get away from his computer, and he calls the police. He wants the police to put me out there right now. So I told him. Now, now, two things I forgot to mention. Number one, he had already told me early before I made that video, telling them, telling people about him molested. He had already told me that he gonna go and tell people that uh he paid for me a ticket and I'm accusing him of things. I said, go ahead. I said, because I'm going to make a video telling him exactly who you are. And he backed out. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not going to make a video. I was just sitting there. And I said, no, no, you brought it up. I said, so I'm going to make the video telling people what you did. Okay. Now, uh, he didn't stop me. He didn't stop me from making that video. And that's how God works. If God wanted that to be out there, God made him because he could have made me not get on that. He could have did ways for me not to record the video and put it out on YouTube. But God let it be known. See, man has no control, especially when you do something wrong. You think you're doing something, but if God wanted it out there, it's gonna get out there. So, Sharon them asked me to take that video down. So, Sharon and Philip asked me, "Don't do any more damage to Mister Larrabee's reputation. Take the video down, please, Pearl. That's you and Gary's business. No, it's not. When a person puts you in a position where you have no help, you're supposed to reach out for help, and even if it means ruining his reputation. Now y'all didn't speak up. Miss Sharon didn't offer me any money to get out of there to get the bus and get on. All you Christian people, ain't none of y'all saying I'm supposed to be there, but ain't none of y'all offered to give me a bus ticket to get back home. But y'all worried about Mr. Gary's reputation. But I took the video down after about 2 hours. As I said, they had a little more than 400 views. So, uh, as I said, Mr. Larrabee called the police. Now, let me tell you how these officers are. They told me that I had to go. I said, yeah, well, if I had to go, I don't have not a dime. I ain't got no money. Y'all gonna put me out in the streets in a city that I know nothing about. Well, I can't take my food and stuff, so I have to take a loss because, in them shelters, they don't let you take anything. So I would have lost that. I said, now if I have to go, I want Mr. There to be arrested. And these officers already know in this area who I am because there's a targeted individual who know this organization, this government, MK Ultra goes all over the United States. So I'm hearing an officer standing outside the door talking before they even knocked on the door. And like I said, I already know my gang stalkers are there because I can feel the energy weapons. And Mr. Larrabee admitted that something was going on strange up in the apartment right above his head. But when they come in, number one, they take his side, tell me I have to go. Uh, but I told them, well, if I have to go, I want him arrested. Now, they asked me, did I have proof? And I said, yeah, that video he made this morning apologizing and made any sense. Uh, so when the officer looked at the video, he called Mr. Larrabee and they went in the bathroom and talked. Because he know, number one, that video of Mr. Larrabee admitting that he had put his hands on me. Even though he didn't say it, but everybody knew I had made the video previously and he had said he was sorry. So he knew that was a nail in Mr. Larrabee's coffin. So he went in there and talked to Mr. Larrabee and let me stand there and keep the deal that we agreed earlier. And that was for him and his friends to give me the $400 to get a room until I got my money at the Y. That he said, now, Mr. Larrabee, y'all try to get along tonight. And she leaving, y'all give her the money, she leave. And y'all go your separate ways. Now, the officer asked me, he said, are you sure you want him arrested? And I said, yes. I said, because if he want to put me in the street and I call myself being nice to him and you got me here and you mad because I won't let you touch me and you won't give me my money back to get home, of course. I'm not going to let you take advantage of me like that and put me out without doing something for you. So I wanted him arrested. And like I said, nah, I didn't think about it till later. That video that the officer saw was incriminating to Mr. Larrabee. And He must have told Mr. Larrabee to delete that video. So we made the agreement that I stay there till the morning free and give me $400. He woke up that morning again like a Dr. Jacob, Mr. Hyde, and said he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't going to give me the $400. He didn't care if I called and got a room. He wanted me out there, and he's going to call the police. I said, nah, Mr. Larrabee, the police already said that that I could press the charges because they saw the video. But the video was gone that morning. He deleted it. And he called the police down. He already knew that the police weren't going to do anything. And the video was gone. Because when he called the police, new officers came and they said the police that night did not find probable cause for the arrest of him in the first place. And we all know that's not true. Because we know, you guys know too, that if they wanted me out of there that night, if they didn't have a reason to let him make me stay, they would have put me out of there. So how do you go from finding that he molested me from watching the video to having wrote in the your paperwork the next day that you saw no probable cause, that he did nothing? So all the time you told him in that back room to go and delete that video, y'all were protecting him then. So they told me I had to go. Now I'm gonna leave that here because it's almost an hour. But I'm gonna give you guys blow by blow details of actually happened. Now I'm not gonna post all these videos, all the stuff that I have, and it's a lot of amazing stuff. And I want you to show how God is still working in my life despite what I'm going through. It's all meant to still give Him the glory, despite this everything that they taken from me. I would have been better off just staying in my own home instead of going to people who I thought were friends and turned out to be uh, something else. I thought were really Christian like and turned out to be not Christian like at all. Because, like I said, if I had been white, and I have still nothing against white people. People are people. They're bad people. They're evil people, no matter what race you go to. So it has nothing to do with black and white. It has to do with your Christianity, with your soul, and whether you think you're better than people, and whether you think you're entitled. Because Mr. Larrabee obviously felt that since I was black, he had the entitlement that he could put his hands on me. And these officers and all his friends felt that they were entitled to do what they want and not pay any consequences. Well, God's gonna make them pay because, like I said, there were very few, but there were comments stating that he clearly was in the wrong, and if he had been black, he'd have been lynched. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna follow up with some other things, and uh, my travels to get here. Now today is the 21st. I was supposed to have been out of here, had my things out of here by the 21st. But obviously, my targeters have delayed me from getting back here until the 21st. I'm not going to worry about it. God will make a way for me to move the things that I have left out of here and to go somewhere else. But I'm not going to worry about it still because today is the 21st, and on my paperwork, it says that I have to be gone by the 21st. But even then, the judge told her that Mr. Dunford, who seems to be my judge, no matter what kind of case I have before the courts, he is always my judge. Even though I've asked to have a motion filed against him to remove him, I'm still been given Mr. Judge Dunford as my judge. So even then, even though he gave me 2 weeks, and usually at the least you're supposed to get 30 days to move. You're supposed to get at least 30 days to move. Usually it's 2 months, but 30 days at the least. He gave me 2 weeks. So, even though I was supposed to be out here today, he told Miss Rivera if I wasn't out by the 21st, Then she has to go before the sheriff and get the paperwork done to get a 5-day notice. And let's see will they violate that too. Because already she's had a dumpster, a big red dumpster, sitting outside my door. And we got to go through that with Miss Vera and how the same night that I left, they came in here because I left straight from the courthouse. I didn't even let nobody know I was gone. I left straight from the courthouse, got on the Greyhound, and went to Spokane. So obviously, they came here. As soon as I walked out the door, they knew what my plans were, and they came here and took what they want. But I'm gonna close that right now, you guys. Uh, I will do a lot of backtracking and uploading these videos that let you know what's been going on these past 2 weeks, and making new ones to go along to address some of the repercussions that's going to follow. Because I am going to put Mr. Larrabee on blast, especially since I told him he makes money off my videos that I use to help him, and he's still showing my videos. Now I told him to take my videos off his network so he won't be making money, and he took the video that I made while I was at his house down, but he is still making money off maybe 20 other videos that I put up for him. So he was sneaky. He still think he's slick by taking one down, but keeping all the other ones up and still making money. So I'll address that with you later, but I do want to put him on blast because I don't want to call him so he can say I'm harassing him by asking him to stop making money off my videos. But with this through my own channel and through God, number one, with God, everybody's going to be exposed. Miss Sharon Brewer, everybody's going to be exposed who is not the Christians that they claim they are. The only thing they're really talking about is waiting on that money, that RB. Well, God didn't want you waiting on money, no way. And if your whole conversation is about getting money, that's the heavenly glory you're looking for, then you better get some more pockets or just sew up the ones you got because ain't nothing going into them. That RB is not going to come through. You're not going to get any money. God didn't want us to wait on money for greed. I don't care what your intentions are. Well, I'm going to get this house and I'm going to buy people this and I'm going to get. No. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And none of them should be about getting money. I'm going to leave it there because I could talk and talk all day. But I'm going to leave it there past my hour. So, you guys, keep me in the prayers. I'm gonna keep praying for you that nothing happens, and I want God to reveal to us who all these people are, who we think are in our corner, who really there to betray us. Love you. Bye bye.